Do you feel like you don't speak enough Polish? That you need to know more words? Then stick around. With these lessons, you'll pick up some of the most common words in just a few minutes. Now, this video is a small portion of our learning program. To get the full lessons, translations, and Fluency Fast study tools, click the link in the description and sign up for your free lifetime account. Want to finally start speaking in your target language? In this guide, you'll discover the top 7 ways to practice speaking on your own with our lessons. Let's begin. Number 1, shadowing. Shadowing is a proven learning technique where all you do is repeat what you hear in order to practice speaking. So access any audio or video lesson on the site and press the play button to start. Then, as you listen or watch, just repeat the conversations. Or, even easier, read along out loud with the dialogue section. The script is right there in front of you. With our lessons, you can master entire conversations, just like that. Number 2, read out loud. I just mentioned it, but reading out loud is another powerful tactic and deserves its own mention. With every lesson, you get written transcripts and translations. So, as you play the lesson, read the dialogue out loud as you hear it. Why? By reading out loud, you're also practicing your speaking skills. You can do this with the lesson notes, the lesson transcript, or the dialogue tool. With the dialogue tool, you can listen to each line again and again, and repeat out loud until you master them all. Number 3, speed up your reading to speed up your speaking. Being able to speak without thinking is a sign of language mastery. If you're talking to a native and can respond quickly, they'll assume that you're fairly fluent. How can you do this? When you read out loud, try increasing your speed a little bit every time. So, start by reading with the dialogue tool. If you're like most learners, you'll read the first line slowly. That's because you're still getting used to the words, which is okay. Reread it. On your second try, you know most of the words, and you'll read a little faster. Reread it again. On your third try, you'll be even faster, at a native speaker's speed. And being able to read these phrases out loud and fast will help you speak fast. Number 4, record and compare yourself with native speakers. In order to sound like a native speaker, you must imitate native speakers. So here's how. Access the voice recorder, which is in the dialogue study tool in every lesson. Click on the microphone icon. Listen to the native speaker's audio, and then record yourself. You can then compare the 2 recordings side by side, and practice and try again and again until you perfect your pronunciation. Number 5, get feedback from our Premium Plus teacher. If you're learning by yourself and don't have access to real teachers, then you can always get feedback from our Premium Plus teachers. With the My Teacher tool, you can record yourself speaking and send the audio file to the teacher. They'll review it and tell you what to improve and how. That's it. Number 6, level up your speaking with Premium Plus assignments. With Premium Plus, you can also get assignments that cover reading, writing, listening, and even speaking from your teacher. These assignments can be tailored to your goals and needs. You get a new one every week, or anytime you're ready for a new one. Number 7, get even more lessons in the lesson library. If you want even more lessons on speaking and conversations, visit our lesson library and under Category, choose Conversation. You'll get all of the pathways and lessons that are focused on speaking. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share it with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way, and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. I'll see you next time. Bye! You've decided to study a new language. So now what? Well, you want to become fluent fast, right? Here are the top 5 shortcuts to learning a language. Number 1, create a study schedule and set some goals. Many language learners are unorganized. Creating a schedule allows you to free up time to study consistently. Goals give you motivation and something to strive for. Number 2, make it fun. If you learn how to make your study time enjoyable, chances are you'll be more inclined to study. Watch a TV show with subtitles or listen to some music. Number 3, find a language partner. This is the best way to improve your conversation skills. It will help you gain fluency even faster and increase confidence when speaking. Number 4, use word lists to build up a solid vocabulary. This is a great way to build up your fluency, one word at a time. Luckily, we have all the word lists you need, with a range of topics, from food to love. Choose whichever language you want to study and go! Number 5, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Nothing helps you improve more than correcting your own errors. You're more likely to remember it correctly the next time around. Everyone makes mistakes. Don't be afraid to learn from them. There's no magical way to learn a new language overnight, but doing all of these can really help your learning process. And remember, if you're interested in getting on the fast track to fluency, sign up for your free lifetime account. No credit card required, and you'll get the best free online resources. Start learning now.
Cześć, jestem Joanna. Hi, I'm Joanna. Welcome to PolishPod101.com's Polski w 3 minuty, the fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn Polish. In this lesson, we will jump into our series dedicated to question words in Polish. Our first one will be what, which in Polish is co. So imagine you see your friend busy with something and you want to ask, what are you doing? You will ask, co robisz? Co robisz? Let's break down this question. Co is a question word that means what in Polish. The second word is robisz, which is the second person form of the verb robić, which we've already learned. So altogether it's co robisz? What are you doing? If you want to make this question more detailed and ask about someone's plans, for example, for this weekend, you just add the time period you want to know about. You will usually insert the preposition w in front. Co robisz w ten weekend? What are you doing this weekend? Or co robisz w poniedziałek? What are you doing on Monday? Of course, if you want to pose this question to an older person or someone you don't know very well, you have to add pan or pani. Then we will get, for example, co pani robi w poniedziałek? Co itself can also be used as a question. For example, say you are among your friends and someone says something you didn't hear or understand. Or you're simply surprised by what your friend said. Just say, co? Remember that the intonation has to be the same as for a question. Let's try. If you didn't catch what your friend said, you say, co? If you want to express surprise or disbelief, say, co? Other examples of more detailed questions using co are: co studiujesz? What are you studying? Co studiujesz? Co czytasz? What are you reading? Co czytasz? Co oglądasz? What are you watching? Co oglądasz? When answering this kind of question, just name the thing you study, read or watch. For example, what are you studying? Fizykę. Physics. What are you watching? Mission Impossible. When something has a title, we usually just give the title. We don't really answer with words like a movie, a book, an article. Now it's time for Joanna's insights. In most cases in Polish, the question word co is used the same way as the English what. But there's a very commonly used question, which is an exception to that. In English, we say, what's your name? But in this case, in Polish, we will not use co. The word that has to be used here is jak, which literally means how. Jak masz na imię? What's your name? So please remember, when you ask about someone's name, never use co. In the next lesson, we will learn how to use the question word where. See you in the next Polski w 3 minuty lesson. Do zobaczyska!
Want to speak real Polish from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at polishpod101.com.
This time we're going to ask where questions. Imagine you want to ask where your friend is now. You will ask him, Gdzie jesteś? This is the exact translation of where are you? Gdzie jesteś? Let's break down this question. First, we had gdzie, which is the basic translation of where in Polish. Then jesteś, which is are, the second person of the verb być, which we have already learned. It's very simple, isn't it? So in Polish, where is translated as gdzie. For example, if you want to ask, where do you live? You will say, gdzie mieszkasz? Like in English, the question word is placed in the first position, and then comes the verb conjugated according to the subject of the question. Other examples of questions with the word gdzie are: Gdzie studiujesz? Where do you study? Gdzie studiujesz? Gdzie pracujesz? Where do you work? Gdzie pracujesz? Gdzie jedziesz na wakacje? Where are you going for summer holidays? Gdzie jedziesz na wakacje? If you want to ask someone, where are you from? You must be very careful because in this case we don't use the word gdzie. We will use the word skąd, which literally means from where. So, where are you from will be skąd jesteś? Skąd jesteś? Now it's time for Joanna's insights. Asking where questions in Polish is very easy. Just start with the question word gdzie and add a verb. Live, go, work, and so on. Of course, if you want to change this informal question into a formal one, add pan if you're talking to a man, or pani if you're talking to a woman, like we have practiced many times in previous lessons. In this lesson, we learned how to correctly use the Polish question word gdzie. Now you can avoid getting lost because from now on you can ask, where am I? Gdzie jestem? In the next lesson, we'll learn more about asking questions, this time using when in Polish. I'll be waiting for you in the next Polski w 3 minuty. Do zobaczenia! This time we are going to ask questions with the word when. Let's start. Imagine your roommate is going on vacation and you want to know when he's coming back. You will ask him, kiedy wracasz? Kiedy wracasz?
So let's break down this question. First, we had kiedy, which is the basic translation of when in Polish. And then wracasz, which is the verb to come back, to go back. Wracać. Of course, you remember that in Polish we usually skip the pronoun, so the verb wracać is conjugated here for the second person. So altogether it's kiedy wracasz? When are you coming back?
So in Polish, when is generally translated as kiedy. For example, if you want to ask when is your birthday, it's kiedy masz urodziny? Please note that here we used the verb mieć instead of być. So in Polish we say, when do you have a birthday? Let's have a look at another example. How can you say, when did you arrive? It's really simple since it's exactly the same pattern. Kiedy przyjechałeś? First we have kiedy, which is when. The second word is przyjechałeś, which is the past participle of the verb przyjechać, to arrive. Kiedy przyjechałeś?
If you want to ask a question about duration, as in, since when have you been a teacher? Then you will have to say, od kiedy jesteś nauczycielem? Here too, it's exactly the same as in English, because since is od. So, od kiedy means since when.
Let's see how to ask until when in Polish. It is very easy as you can translate it directly. It becomes do kiedy? So, for example, if you want to ask a friend, until when are you going to stay here? It will be, do kiedy tu zostajesz?
But of course, there are other ways to ask about time. You can even be more specific by asking about the year, the date, or the hour. For example, you can ask, which day is better for you? Który dzień ci bardziej pasuje? What time can we meet? O której godzinie możemy się spotkać?
Now it's time for Joanna's insights. To ask how long an action has been taking place in Polish, we could say od kiedy, from when, but there's another very simple way to do it. The phrase how long in Polish. First, say the question word jak, then długo, and then the verb. Jak długo czekasz? How long have you been waiting? It's very easy, isn't it? Today we asked when questions, but in the next lesson we learn how to ask who questions. Don't miss it! See you in the next Polski w 3 minuty. Do zobaczyska! This time we are going to learn who questions. The simplest who question in Polish is kto to jest? Who is this? Kto to jest? Kto stands for who. To literally means this. And jest is the verb być in the third person form. If you want to ask more detailed questions about someone's identity, we cannot use the word kto. We have to change it to a different one. For example, imagine you want to ask your friend who the attractive girl just behind him is. The question you can ask is kim jest ta dziewczyna? Kim jest ta dziewczyna?
Let's break down this question. First, we had kim, which stands for the English who. Then jest, which is to be, the third person form of the verb być, which we have already studied. Ta dziewczyna means this girl. Altogether, it's kim jest ta dziewczyna?
Let's take a look at a different example. If you want to ask who are these people, you will say kim są ci ludzie? As in English, the question word who is here placed in the first position and is followed by the verb and then the subject.
Kto or kim only works for people, so you cannot use it to ask information about things or places. As a question word, kto can also be used to ask who did something. For example, if you are in a museum, you can ask kto namalował ten obraz? This means who painted this painting? Another kind of question that is used very often is czyj, czyja, czyje. All these words stand for the English whose. Do you remember that Polish nouns have genders? So depending on the gender of the noun that we ask about, we will use the right question word. Let's see. Czyj for masculine nouns. Czyja for feminine nouns. Czyje for neuter nouns and plural.
So if you want to ask whose pencil is this, you will have to say czyj jest ten ołówek? If we break down this question, it is czyj, which is whose. Jest, which is the verb być in the third person form. And finally, ten ołówek, which means this pencil. We used here czyj because the pencil is a masculine noun. Czyj jest ten ołówek?
Let's revise all the types of sentences we learned today, starting from asking about identity. Kto to jest? Who is this? Kim jest ta dziewczyna? Who is this girl? Kim są ci ludzie? Who are these people? When you want to ask who did something. Kto namalował ten obraz? Who painted this painting? Kto zjadł moje ciasto? Who ate my cake? And finally, when we want to know who something belongs to. Czyj jest ten ołówek? Whose is this pencil? Czyja jest ta torba? Whose is this bag? Czyje są te cukierki? Whose are these candies?
Now it's time for Joanna's insights. If someone you didn't expect is knocking at your door in Poland, the common question before opening the door is Kto tam? This literally means who is it? Here you don't have to worry about formality. It's always the same. Kto tam? Who is it? Next lesson will be our last of this Absolute Beginner series. We will deal with the last question word dlaczego, which means why. I'll be waiting for you in the next Polski w 3 minuty. Pa pa!
Want to speak real Polish from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at polishpod101.com.
This time we are going to ask why questions. Imagine you're late to work. You can be sure that your boss will ask you, why are you late? Dlaczego jesteś spóźniony? Dlaczego jesteś spóźniony?
So let's break down this question. First we had dlaczego, which is the basic translation of why in Polish. Jesteś is the second person of the verb być, to be. And finally, spóźniony is an adjective that means late. Altogether, it's dlaczego jesteś spóźniony? If you're a woman, your boss will say dlaczego jesteś spóźniona?
So in Polish, dlaczego is the exact translation of why, used to ask the reason for something. So for example, if your friend knows that you don't like Polish food, he may ask you for the reason why. Why don't you like Polish food? Dlaczego nie lubisz polskiego jedzenia? Dlaczego nie lubisz polskiego jedzenia? To answer, you will have to give a reason.
In case you see someone doing something that you think is not really necessary, you can use the phrase po co, which literally means what for. For example, you're cooking with your friend and he starts cutting carrots, which you think is not necessary. You can say, po co kroisz marchewkę? Po co kroisz marchewkę? What are you cutting this carrot for?
Now it's time for Joanna's insights. There's an expression in Polish which means why not? Dlaczego nie? Just like English, you can use it to accept a suggestion when you're not that excited about it. For example, if a friend asks you suddenly, how about going to a movie tonight? You can answer, dlaczego nie? Why not? This lesson is the last lesson of this Absolute Beginner video series. But hopefully it's not the last time you learn Polish. To take your language ability to the next level, check out polishpod101.com, the fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn Polish. Powodzenia! Good luck!
Hey everyone! Welcome to your monthly review, the monthly show on language learning, where you discover new learning strategies, motivational tips, new study tools, resources, and where we show off learners like you speaking the language. That is, if you're brave enough to participate and become language learning famous. All the materials mentioned in this video are available for you right now on our website. Click the link in the description to sign up for your free lifetime account and start speaking in minutes. Okay, today's topic is why your worst days are the best days to study. So, have you ever had a day where you planned on learning language and you just couldn't go through with it, even if learning a new language is your personal goal? Something that you really want? Well, today you're going to learn 1. Why these bad days happen, and 2. Why you'll get your best work done on your worst days. Let's start. Why bad days happen with language learning. When I say bad days, I don't mean when you're too busy or when life gets in the way. These things are unavoidable. I mean days when you're just not in the mood. It's a perfectly good day. The sun is shining. No bad news. But you just can't get yourself to study. You're just wasting the day. So, here's why they happen. First, it's the law of diminishing returns in action. What does this mean? Think of it as eating pizza every day for 5 days a week. On the first day, the first 2 slices are great, but by the third one, you're feeling queasy. It's not as good. And by the 5th day, you're sick of pizza. That's the law of diminishing returns, when the benefits start decreasing over time. And it happens with language learning. When you first start, you learn a lot of phrases and it feels good. You're excited. But as time goes on, you don't feel like you're learning much, and this affects your mood and motivation, so you're not as excited to learn anymore. So you start having bad days. Second, bad days happen because you overthink things and ruin it for yourself. It's like dreading going to the gym. Let's say you went yesterday. You have to go again today. So you're dreading it all day long. I gotta go again. You set yourself up for a bad mood and a bad day. Third, bad days are a natural part of the cycle. Some days will be good. Most days you'll feel indifferent. Some days will be bad. But that's completely natural, and anyone with long-term projects and goals feels the same. And fourth, you can't be on 100% of the time. So just like days can't always be good, you too can't always be on and ready to go all the time. Again, just a realistic and expected part of the journey. Now, let's jump into the second part, why you'll get your best work done on your worst days. So, why will you get your best work done? First, it's not that bad once you start. Once you've spent 10 or 15 minutes learning a language, it's not so bad. People say the same thing about the gym. If you show up and put in a bit of time, it gets easier. Second, it's overcoming a mental barrier. What I mean is, when most of us have bad days, our brain automatically says, okay, can't be done today. Stop, we're done. But if you just work through it, you don't take these bad days so seriously anymore. And that means you're more likely to stick with your language learning goal. This brings us to the next point. Third, it's your best work because working on a bad day only strengthens your habit of language learning. Remember, habits are what will help you master a language over time. If you can stick to a habit on a bad day, your habit only gets stronger, and it will lead you to fluency. And finally, fourth, it just feels good to overcome something. Imagine you have a bad day, but you still put in 10 minutes of language learning. It's a real sense of achievement. And it doesn't matter if you do a 10-minute lesson or a 5-minute lesson. The fact that you made some progress on a bad day will give you the motivation you need to keep going. Now, speaking of lessons, here are this month's new lessons and resources. First, the Best of 2018 Language Learning Cheat Sheets. If you want to get access to all of our conversation cheat sheets that we sent out this year, here's your chance. Download this PDF bundle right now. Next, the brand new Supermarket Cheat Sheet. With this cheat sheet, you'll learn must-know shopping phrases and vocab for meats, vegetables, and all products that you'll find in a supermarket. And finally, the most common adjectives. If you're a beginner and don't yet know these adjectives, then this is a perfect chance to boost your vocabulary. This 1-minute lesson will get them stuck in your head, guaranteed. To get these free lessons and resources, just click the link in the description below. All right, everyone. Now we're asking you to submit a video or audio file of yourself speaking the language. If you do, you'll win 3 free months of access to our learning program, which includes your very own teacher. Here's the challenge for you. Yes, everyone watching this. Record a 30-second to 1-minute video or audio clip. Introduce yourself in the language. Share your name, where you're from, and why you're studying this language. And you'll win a 3-month Premium Plus subscription. To submit, click on the link in the description. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Then, fill out the form. Attach the audio or video file, and press Submit. We may feature you in next month's episode. So a lot of learners will see you and your progress, and will hopefully get inspired to improve and master the language. To submit a recording, click the link in the description and follow the instructions on the page. So thank you for watching this episode of Monthly Review. Next time, we'll talk about how to set achievable language learning goals and resolutions. In the meantime, submit your recording if you're brave. Like and share this video, and leave a comment to tell us what language learning tactics you'd like us to talk about. See you next time. Bye! You probably already have language learning goals, but the real key to success is to make the right goals. In this video, I'll show you how, with 5 tips to stop wasting your time and start learning. Hi everyone, Alicia here. In this video, I'll teach you 5 tips to stop procrastinating and keep your motivation for learning a new language. Some of these are study methods, and some will be general ways that you can keep your study motivation up. While these tips are for studying a language, some of them are good for other things in your life too, such as new challenges or other types of goals. But before we start, don't forget to click the link in the description to get your bundle of PDF cheat sheets, including survival phrases, romantic lines, learning tips, absolutely free. Now, you probably already have some goals you're trying to achieve when it comes to your language learning progress. While achieving these goals is important, making sure you make the right goals is the real key to success. The very first tip is to set SMART goals. SMART is an acronym, meaning each letter in the word stands for another word. The earliest known reference to SMART goals was in an article written by George T. Doran for a 1981 issue of the Management Review Academic Journal. The acronym varies depending on its use, but each letter generally stands for some criterion that helps with effective goal setting. For our purposes, let's define SMART goals as follows. The S stands for specific. Your goals should target a specific area for improvement. Our natural tendency is to have a goal that's very general. If your goal isn't specific enough, you'll lack the focus and proper direction you need to achieve your goals. So S is for specific. M stands for measurable. Your goals should be quantifiable. They should be able to indicate progress in some way. You have to be able to track your progress, otherwise you won't know if you're getting any closer to your goal. As you see yourself getting closer and closer to your goal, your motivation will go up. So your goals need to be measurable. A stands for achievable. Your goals have to be achievable. Many people want to become fluent in their target language immediately. However, this goal is unrealistic. Your goals have to be achievable. If your goal is too challenging for your current level, it will only demotivate you when you aren't where you think you should be. Instead, think about what results can realistically be achieved given your level, your resources, and any constraints, such as time. So make sure that your goal is actually achievable. R stands for relevant. Your goals may be specific, they may be measurable, and they may be achievable, but are they actually relevant to what you want to achieve? Don't just do a lot of things. If you're focused on improving your speaking skills in your target language, make sure that you spend your time having conversations with others. Make sure you're doing the right things so that your efforts actually bring you closer to your goal instead of just giving you more work. T stands for timely. You need to set a deadline for your goals. If you don't specify when you plan to achieve the result you've set for yourself, it's very easy to put off the task. You can delay it until tomorrow, the next week, or the next month, and at this rate, you'll never get things done. So your goal must have an end date. So remember, tip number 1 is to set SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. So, for example, a goal you could make is registering for a challenging test, a test that's a little bit beyond your current level. I hate failing, so if I register for a challenging test, I'm motivated to study because I don't want to fail. This is a good example of a SMART goal because tests are specific. There are tons of different tests focused on speaking, grammar, and comprehension. Pick a test that can measure the specific area in which you'd like to grow. Measurable. Tests are measurable. Every test measures your performance to some degree. Whether it's a total count of right and wrong answers or a simple pass or fail, every test measures your performance. Tests are achievable. There's an important detail to remember here, though. Find a test that is achievable for you. If you're a beginner, then the most advanced test is probably not right for you. Find one that's meant for beginners. Then, after that one, work your way up to more advanced tests in the future. Tests are relevant. Most, if not all, language tests are designed to ensure that you're capable of performing to a set standard in your target language. Lower-level tests are designed to ensure that you can handle the most essential aspects of your target language. But there are tests for all levels, including higher education entry exams that could be difficult, even for native speakers. Pick the one that's right for you. And finally, tests are timely. If your test is completed in a physical location, then this one is obvious. You have to be at that spot at the set time, ready to take the test. There's no wiggle room. but even online tests will most likely have a deadline for you to complete them. The second tip to help you stop procrastinating and to keep your motivation up is to create a diary or social media account that you can update every day. This may seem simple or even unrelated to language learning, but by creating a diary in your target language, you have the chance to actually create in the language itself. Creating a diary is also a great way to practice writing in your target language. Another method is to create a social media account, which gives you the chance to connect with other people who are working toward the same goals as you. Maybe they can even give you feedback on your writing. If you're following people online who regularly share good resources, those can be really helpful for you too. It lets you find new tools that can encourage and motivate you, especially if they relate to some of your other interests, such as music or books in other languages. This is a really good way to take a few minutes every day to work towards your goal, without it even seeming like work. The third tip is to focus on understanding a specific TV show or movie. Try to watch a movie in your target language without any subtitles, or try to understand your favorite TV show that's in your target language. If you don't already have a goal like this, it can be a fun way to practice. If your friends often talk about a particular TV show, it could be a good way to study and a fun way to keep your motivation up together. Plus, TV shows and movies often use the language in a way that's vastly different from the conversations provided in traditional textbooks, so you often get to hear different vocabulary choices. It's a very powerful way to learn a language and end up sounding more like a native speaker. Tip number 4 is to enroll in a regular language course. Register for something you have to go to or you have to participate in regularly, meaning every week or 2 times a week or maybe even every day. The point of this is it's something that gives you a pattern to follow. Forming a study habit will help you progress very quickly. It will make it easier for you to achieve your language learning goals. Once you form the habit, you won't even have to think about starting each time. It'll just be natural. Have something that you must take responsibility for. You'll be more motivated to continue if there are others, especially classmates or a teacher, watching you progress. Look for resources inside your community, and if there are no opportunities there, look for things digitally. You can find many of our videos on YouTube, on Facebook, and of course, our entire video and audio lesson library on our website. The lessons on our website also come with assignment courses, so you can test your knowledge. The last tip is to make your goal public. Share your goal. Tell people about your goal. For example, if you want to give a business presentation in your target language this year, then tell your colleagues or your boss about it. Some people may find what you're doing interesting, and they can support you. This kind of pressure can help push people forward who have trouble motivating themselves alone. By telling others about your goal, you'll feel more accountable. Because you told somebody that you were planning on doing something, there's an underlying sense of guilt if you don't accomplish the task. You may feel that you have failed your peers in some way, even if there's no direct pressure from them. Using this technique, you can push yourself into moving forward toward your goal, especially at times when you feel the least motivated. And that brings us to the end of our 5 tips to stop wasting time and start learning a language. We've talked a lot about how to set goals for yourself and think about new challenges. First, I told you about creating SMART goals. Remember, SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. Registering for a test is a great example of a SMART goal. Next, we talked about keeping a diary or social media account in your target language. Start doing it right now, even if you're still a beginner. Then, I suggested that you focus on understanding a specific TV show or movie. Pick something in your target language that you really love, because you may need to watch it over and over again until it all makes sense to you. And next, we talked about enrolling in a regular language course. This will give you something concrete that you must take responsibility for. Finally, make your goal public. Tell someone about your learning goals to keep you accountable for them. You're much less likely to abandon your studies if you have friends asking you about your progress. I hope that these are useful tips that you can use to reach your language learning goals. And before we go, let me remind you to download tons of free PDF lessons to learn the language the fast, fun, and easy way. Just click the link in the description. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and share it with anyone who may find it useful. Do you have any good tips that you've used to help you reach your goals? Share them in the comments. Thanks very much for watching and see you next time.
I'd like to exchange money.
Chciałbym wymienić walutę. Chciałbym wymienić walutę.
I'd like to make a withdrawal.
Chciałbym dokonać wypłaty. Chciałbym dokonać wypłaty.
I'd like to make a deposit.
Chciałbym dokonać wpłaty. Chciałbym dokonać wpłaty.
I'd like to open an account.
Chciałbym założyć konto. Chciałbym założyć konto.
It takes 3 to 5 business days.
To potrwa od 3 do 5 dni roboczych. To potrwa od 3 do 5 dni roboczych.
Could I have a statement, please?
Czy mogę dostać wyciąg z konta? Czy mogę dostać wyciąg z konta?
Go back.
Wróć. Wróć.
Are there any annual charges with this account?
Czy z tym kontem są powiązane jakieś coroczne opłaty? Czy z tym kontem są powiązane jakieś coroczne opłaty?
Is this your first time with us?
Czy będzie pan u nas po raz pierwszy? Czy będzie pan u nas po raz pierwszy?
I'll leave it up to you.
Proszę zdecydować. Proszę zdecydować.
Is the water too cold?
Czy woda nie jest za zimna? Czy woda nie jest za zimna?
Can you come back later?
Czy może pan wrócić później? Czy może pan wrócić później?
Sorry, we're completely booked.
Przykro mi, nie mamy wolnych miejsc. Przykro mi, nie mamy wolnych miejsc.
We'll give you a call.
Zadzwonimy do pana. Zadzwonimy do pana.
I'll take one of this.
Wezmę jedno z tych. Wezmę jedno z tych.
What's this?
Co to jest? Co to jest?
Can I have a bag, please?
Czy mogę dostać reklamówkę? Czy mogę dostać reklamówkę?
Ready to start?
Czy możemy zacząć? Czy możemy zacząć?
The flight will arrive at 8:45 p.m.
Samolot wyląduje o 20:45. Samolot wyląduje o 20:45.
It looks like it will take about 30 more minutes to get there.
Wygląda na to, że minie jeszcze ze 30 minut, zanim tam dotrzemy. Wygląda na to, że minie jeszcze ze 30 minut, zanim tam dotrzemy.
We'll arrive 30 minutes early.
Będziemy 30 minut wcześniej. Będziemy 30 minut wcześniej.
She'll be here by 7 p.m.
Ona dotrze tu do 19. Ona dotrze tu do 19.
What is a good time for you?
O której ci pasuje? O której ci pasuje?
Today is Wednesday.
Wczoraj był wtorek. Wczoraj był wtorek.
Monday is the worst day of the week.
Poniedziałek to najgorszy dzień tygodnia. Poniedziałek to najgorszy dzień tygodnia.
It's already Sunday.
Już niedziela. Już niedziela.
The day after tomorrow is Friday.
Pojutrze jest piątek. Pojutrze jest piątek.
What day is it today?
Jaki dzisiaj dzień? Jaki dzisiaj dzień?
It's only Tuesday.
Dopiero wtorek. Dopiero wtorek.
He's leaving now.
On właśnie wychodzi. On właśnie wychodzi.
Let's leave in 20 minutes.
Wyjdźmy za 20 minut. Wyjdźmy za 20 minut.
Can we leave around 6?
Czy możemy wyjść około 6? Czy możemy wyjść około 6?
It's noon.
Jest południe. Jest południe.
It's 3 o'clock.
Jest trzecia. Jest trzecia.
It ends in 30 minutes.
Skończy się za pół godziny. Skończy się za pół godziny.
It's almost dusk.
Już prawie zmierzch. Już prawie zmierzch.
It's midnight.
Jest północ. Jest północ.
Be here before noon.
Bądź tu przed południem. Bądź tu przed południem.
This weekend I'm going to the movies.
W ten weekend idę do kina. W ten weekend idę do kina.
What are you doing this weekend?
Co robisz w ten weekend? Co robisz w ten weekend?
I'll have time next week.
Będę miał czas w przyszłym tygodniu. Będę miał czas w przyszłym tygodniu.
I'm busy this week.
W tym tygodniu jestem zajęty. W tym tygodniu jestem zajęty.
I have no money.
Nie mam pieniędzy. Nie mam pieniędzy.
Leave me alone.
Zostaw mnie w spokoju. Zostaw mnie w spokoju.
I want to go here.
Chcę iść w to miejsce. Chcę iść w to miejsce.
I'm looking for this place.
Szukam tego miejsca. Szukam tego miejsca.
They took my phone.
Zabrali mi telefon. Zabrali mi telefon.
This area is dangerous.
Ten obszar jest niebezpieczny. Ten obszar jest niebezpieczny.
Do you speak English?
Czy mówisz po angielsku? Czy mówisz po angielsku?
Want to speak real Polish from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at polishpod101.com.
I'm sorry.
Przepraszam. Przepraszam.
Don't worry.
Nie martw się. Nie martw się.
It's okay.
W porządku. W porządku.
Please?
Proszę. Proszę.
Please forgive me.
Proszę, wybacz mi. Proszę, wybacz mi.
I really appreciate it.
Bardzo to doceniam. Bardzo to doceniam.
Thank you.
Dziękuję. Dziękuję.
You're welcome.
Nie ma za co. Nie ma za co.
Make yourself at home.
Rozgość się. Rozgość się.
Hello.
Cześć. Cześć.
Goodbye.
Do widzenia. Do widzenia.
Good morning.
Dzień dobry. Dzień dobry.
Good evening.
Dobry wieczór. Dobry wieczór.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Przepraszam za spóźnienie. Przepraszam za spóźnienie.
Hello?
Hallo. Hallo.
Awesome.
Super. Super.
Delicious.
Pyszne. Pyszne.
Nice to meet you.
Miło mi cię poznać. Miło mi cię poznać.
Really?
Naprawdę? Naprawdę?
What time is it?
Która godzina? Która godzina?
How are you?
Jak się masz? Jak się masz?
I'm good.
Dobrze. Dobrze.
Help.
Pomocy. Pomocy.
I don't like it.
Nie podoba mi się to. Nie podoba mi się to.
I like it.
Podoba mi się to. Podoba mi się to.
It's difficult.
To trudne. To trudne.
Once again, please.
Proszę powtórzyć. Proszę powtórzyć.
I don't understand.
Nie rozumiem. Nie rozumiem.
Slower, please.
Proszę wolniej. Proszę wolniej.
What is it?
Co to jest? Co to jest?
Where are you from?
Skąd jesteś? Skąd jesteś?
How old are you?
Ile masz lat? Ile masz lat?
What's your phone number?
Jaki masz numer telefonu? Jaki masz numer telefonu?
Long time no see.
Dawno się nie widzieliśmy. Dawno się nie widzieliśmy.
This is for you.
To dla ciebie. To dla ciebie.
How have you been?
Co u ciebie? Co u ciebie?
I'm afraid I can't make it.
Obawiam się, że nie dam rady. Obawiam się, że nie dam rady.
Never mind.
Nie ma sprawy. Nie ma sprawy.
I forgive you.
Wybaczam ci. Wybaczam ci.
I'm fine.
W porządku. W porządku.
And you?
A u ciebie? A u ciebie?
Good night.
Dobranoc. Dobranoc.
Good afternoon.
Dzień dobry. Dzień dobry.
Bye bye.
Papa. Papa.
How many people are there in your family?
Ile osób jest w twojej rodzinie? Ile osób jest w twojej rodzinie?
It takes about 30 minutes by train.
Pociągiem będzie mniej więcej 30 minut. Pociągiem będzie mniej więcej 30 minut.
Excuse me.
Przepraszam. Przepraszam.
Hold on.
Poczekaj. Poczekaj.
May I sit here?
Czy mogę tu usiąść? Czy mogę tu usiąść?
Thank you very much.
Dziękuję bardzo. Dziękuję bardzo.
Remember, here's what you can do to learn all of these words by heart. Drill these words with our spaced repetition flashcards, which will help cement these words into your long-term memory. Save them to the word bank, your personal vocabulary collection, where you can print out your own study sheets, or review the words with our looped vocabulary slideshow, and play it until you know all of the words. So click the link in the description right now and sign up for your free lifetime account to get these lessons and study tools.